Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98, for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PHD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. You've heard me talking for over 5 years now about how PHD Weight Loss and Nutrition and Dr. Ashley Lucas, the founder, helped me lose weight and helped me keep it off. They literally changed my life. I always enjoy spending some time with Dr. Lucas. Welcome. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Joey.
It's always a pleasure. Let's just talk about, of course, we're in the spring. We're starting to see things bloom. The trees are coming out, flowers blooming. It's that time of the year. We're talking about spring. We're thinking about summer. And, of course, we're thinking about being out on the lake and the beach and getting into those swimsuits. What kind of advice can you give us?
Mm-hmm. Spring is my favorite season. I love the flowers blooming. Yes. And I do think it gives us a feeling of renewal. And I think a lot of people believe that dropping weight has to be difficult. It has to take a long time. We have to take medications and do wild things to experience big changes, but that's not true. I like the saying, small hinges swing big doors. You can make small, simple changes and you will witness huge results. Most of our men drop about 3.5, sometimes 4 pounds a week on average. Most of our women, 2.5, sometimes 3 pounds a week. So it can happen quickly. I mean, you can be in a total different 2 sizes down, 3 sizes down by the time summer hits. So if you are thinking, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming, don't let that stop you. Action alleviates anxiety. Just take the first step and you will be surprised how painless it really is.
Well, and I found that to be true, again, almost 5 years ago now, and I lost just over 30 pounds in 3 months. I mean, I was amazed at how quickly I did that. I wasn't hungry. I felt good. And it's just really a great program because it's based on the science of nutrition.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I was chatting with a client, Carlo, and he dropped about 39 pounds in 10 weeks. Unbelievable. Yeah. About 3.9 pounds per week was his average. And before then, he had tried to be vegan. He tried to run a lot. He loved to run. I actually had to pull down his mileage. So we think, again, we have to do these crazy things. We've been told to eat less and move more and exercise and take all these drugs. But by shifting the way that you eat, the timing of when you eat, getting your body the right foods that work for your unique metabolism, you can drop weight so quickly without hunger, without cravings. It feels like a miracle, but it's totally possible.
Yeah, and I think back and so many things that you taught me, and Dr. Ashley Lucas with me today, it's just sort of common sense. But the thing that I liked about PhD was the accountability. I had a great coach. My coach was Tara starting out, and just knowing that I had someone there to call, to talk with, to visit with each week, and knowing that they were going to hold me accountable, that's a big part of the program, or it was for me.
Yeah, I think that's right, Joey, for the majority of people. I mean, all we do is weight loss and we are experts in it. And our coaches are amazing. They're highly trained in nutrition, and they are also highly trained in behavior change. I think 80% of any change comes from the mind. And I look at weight loss as a process of letting go, right? It's letting go of the excess fat weight that no longer serves you, but also all of those emotions that are tied to it. So if you don't work on the behavior, the mindset, the way you think about food, even if you do drop weight, it's just a matter of time until it comes back. I think for a lot of people, weight loss is an addiction recovery process. So we really have to work on what's going inside, not just with your metabolism, but also with your mindset, and having that weekly one-on-one coaching to hold you accountable and to also tweak your meal plan, because as you slim down, your dietary needs change, Joey. So as you were going through the program, you probably noticed we tweaked your meal plan so you would see continued success, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's not a static thing. It's very dynamic. And our coaches are just great at helping you to continue to see success and change the mind and behaviors behind the reason why we eat the way we do.
Yeah. And in the past when I had tried to do this on my own, I would get to a point, maybe I would lose 10, 15 pounds, but then I would hit a plateau and I couldn't seem to get past that. And that's where your coach and your program helped me go beyond places that I've been able to get to on my own in the past.
Yeah, coaches are able to tell you the truth as to what you need to hear. Whereas when we're doing it alone, emotion can get the best of you, right?
Yes.
You can say, oh my gosh, I look and feel good enough. Or, oh my, I'm plateaued and I'm working so hard, I might as well just eat that brownie, when that is not the truth. Yeah. And you need sometimes the hard truth from someone outside who can look at what's happening and help you continue to move the needle.
Yeah. Well, and the old saying, the truth hurts sometimes.
I know it does.
But again, that's the accountability. That's what I love so much about the program. Now, a minute ago, you mentioned the medical field and pharmaceuticals. And, since I started the program, I started pre-COVID. And
yes.
We saw a lot of things change during COVID, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we've also seen the weight loss industry, if you will, change some in the past year, 2 years, because it's so easy now for people to go to their doctor and get a prescription for one of the shots. But that's not, it may be a shortcut, but it's not for long-term gain, is it?
The problem that I see is it doesn't tackle the root cause issue. There are significant long-term side effects, and we're finding more and more of them, like sudden onset blindness. There is a 900% increased risk of pancreatitis, from which we can die from. 450% increased risk of bowel obstruction that needs surgical intervention. The majority of people who get off the drugs, and most of them do within 2 years because of the cost and because they feel nauseous and sick and tired, 70% of those folks regain the majority of their weight within 1 year of dropping it. And 40% of the weight loss comes from muscle. Joey, this is a huge issue because muscle mass is our metabolic currency. It is the driver of health. And as we age, it's actually really hard to maintain our muscle mass. So the fact that people are dropping weight, but the majority being muscle, they end up fatter than they were before. Metabolically, they are worse off in the end. So it does seem like a kind of magic, easy fix, but the shortcut is just not the answer. You really want to be able to drop weight and keep it off. At least that's my goal for every single client that comes into PHD.
Yeah. Joining me today, Dr. Ashley Lucas, founder of PHD Weightloss. We mentioned a minute ago COVID, and I started the program prior to COVID. And during that period of time when there was so much uncertainty, people were in their homes, businesses closed, you discovered that you didn't necessarily have to come in and have that face-to-face. You started your virtual visits, and that has really helped a lot of people who maybe live outside of the area of one of your offices, Greenville, Asheville, Charlotte, or whatever, or they just can't make that drive, because you can do the program virtually as well.
That's right. We've had it started off with friend and family referrals out of town. So we always had a nationwide program, even from the beginning when I started this company in 2015. And then it just continued to blossom. And then that's right. During COVID, we pivoted very quickly and we were helping everyone from the comfort of their own home. And then once everything opened back up, our local clients came back in. Some of them stayed at home. And since then, we now have clients in every state in the nation. We have served over 10,500 people, collectively drop over 466,000 pounds nationwide. And our at-home, over-the-phone clients have just as much success, or even more so, than our local in-office clientele. So it has been so remarkable. We have a team of 25 nutritionists supporting just our nationwide clientele. So yeah, it can be done from anywhere, any place, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah. So Dr. Lucas, if there's someone who is watching us today, listening to us, and they're thinking, okay, I need to lose some weight. I want to do it as we go into the spring and the summer. What's your advice to them? How do they get started?
The best way to get started with us is to give us a call. give us a call and we'll get you scheduled with one of our nutritionists because our program is customized to each individual. So we need to learn about you and your story and what your health history is and what your goals are. So, for example, your program will look different than what Joey's program looked like. So this initial consultation, it's short, it's sweet. Our nutritionists are super compassionate. And from that appointment, you'll know exactly the length, the cost of your program. You'll have all of your questions answered. And then it's just up to you to decide if you are ready to make a big change in your life. An exciting one, though.
It is exciting. It's very exciting. Yeah. And again, I will soon be coming up on my 5-year anniversary, and it was the best thing that I've ever done. You can go to myphdweightloss.com, myphdweightloss.com, get all the information that you need to get started. And if you're thinking about this, if you know that you need to lose weight, you need to get healthy, let's start today. Let's get the ball rolling, as we say, and make that phone call and get started. And in a few weeks, you too can be talking about losing 10, 20, 30 pounds or more. I've had people who have been longtime friends of mine, people who listen to me on the radio, who have lost 50, 60. One of my high school friends lost 125 pounds. I didn't recognize him when I saw him. So, these are the types of success stories that you see every day, right?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if you've got 10, 20 pounds to drop or 100, 150 plus, we have helped people no matter the situation. If you can't move your body very much, like there are no excuses. Really, the decision that you need to make, or the question you need to ask yourself is if your desire to change significantly outweighs your desire to stay the same. And if you say yes to this, then, oh my gosh, the transformation and the journey will be a really amazing one.
Yeah. Dr. Lucas, thank you again for your time, and thank you for what you did for me, helping me, but what you're doing to help other people as well.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks so much, Joey.
Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Junior Achievement of Greater South Carolina is making a difference in helping young people discover the possibilities in life. The various JA programs help students understand how to apply what they learn in school in their life outside of the classroom. Joining me today is Casey Pash, President and CEO of Junior Achievement of Greater South Carolina. Welcome, Casey. How are you?
I'm good, Joey. Thanks for having us on today.
It is a pleasure. I always enjoy talking about all the good things that Junior Achievement is doing. Let's just start, Casey, with a quick history of Junior Achievement and what your organization does in the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been around for 57 years here in the state of South Carolina, and we serve kids every single day by teaching them the life skills that they need to succeed. And that covers work readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. We really try to give kids skill sets and mindsets that they need to build a thriving community.
Yeah, and, I, in full disclosure here, I have been involved with Junior Achievement over the years in different capacities, and you just do an amazing job of opening the eyes of students of what the real world actually looks like out there. So let's start. Give us an overview, and let's get specific with some of the programs that you offer.
Yeah, so we go into kindergarten through 12th grade classrooms all across the state of South Carolina. But a couple signature programs that we have here one is JA BizTown, and that is where 5th grade students come and run a town for the day. They actually work. They have a job. There's actually a radio station, Joey.
There you go.
There's a CEO there. We're training your future replacement. CEO, CFO, and ultimately they get paid. They pay taxes. They run the town. And ultimately, we're teaching them about careers here in South Carolina, but we're also teaching them those work readiness and those financial literacy skills because you and I work hard so that we can go spend our money. And so they get to work 2 shifts, and then they get to go spend their money for a shift. So really, at the end of the day, they are learning those skill sets and mindsets that you and I use every day in the workplace.
Yeah, and that is
one of our other.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of our other signature programs is JA Finance Park, which is for high school kids. And those students come to a park and they learn all about 21 categories that you and I budget for every single day. And then they actually get to purchase. But the cool thing is when they come into the simulation, they're given a job. They're told if they have a spouse or not. And then they're told how many children they have. And that's a real wake-up call if you're having to budget for groceries for 4, or you have to buy a car, and the simulation will only let you buy a car for you and your spouse when you thought your spouse was just going to walk. And so really teaching those high school students about financial literacy and how do they take a monthly paycheck and pay for their needs and what is truly a want as they move forward and hopefully soon have a job in the near future.
Yeah, this is so cool because you're teaching these kids things that they don't necessarily learn in the classroom. I mean, we learn about math and those types of things, but actually putting it into practice is a whole different story. So typically, and with me today, Casey Pash, President and CEO of Junior Achievement of South Carolina. Typically, how many students do you have participating in your programs in a given year?
Yeah, in a given year, we'll serve about 40 to 42,000 students across the state, and in the Upstate, we'll serve about 12,000 students this year.
Wow, that's a lot of students, and as I know, it takes volunteers to do this because all of your programs are pretty much taught by volunteers, correct?
That is correct, Joey. What I like to call our volunteers, they're our secret sauce. They truly become mentors and business consultants to our young students, and they expose them to careers and opportunities, and they're teaching our curriculum that we provide them, and it's real easy to get involved with our work if people want to volunteer out there.
Yeah. Now, of course, volunteers, that's the great part of it, but there's still expenses involved here because all of this costs money. How do you raise the money to pay for these programs?
Well, we are grateful for our corporations, our foundations, and our individuals who really believe in the work that we do. So we raise money from those, from anyone who will give us money, but we also have some signature events. We are home of the South Carolina Business Hall of Fame for 40 years. We've been inducting businessmen and women into the South Carolina Business Hall of Fame. And then, as every good nonprofit has a good golf tournament, one of our signature events is our golf tournament in the Upstate, which I know that you've been a major part of, and we're grateful for that. And that is coming up here in June. Yeah,
it's always a lot of fun. I'll probably get in trouble by saying this, but I think it's probably the best golf tournament in the Upstate. You have a great team up here in the Upstate, Susan Spencer and all the folks who are involved here. So it's always a lot of fun and raises money. If someone is listening, and with me, Casey Pash, Casey, if someone is listening and they say, that's something I want to be involved in, talk with us about the process.
Perfect. Well, they can visit our website, Joey, greatersc.ja.org. And on our website, there is a form to either volunteer, to request a program, or to donate. So that will get directly to one of our fabulous JA team members, and they will be in touch very quickly. And so that's a great way to reach out to us, just visiting our website.
Yeah. And if someone says, well, I'd like to be involved, but, I'm a little intimidated about the idea of being in a classroom, what's your advice to those folks?
Well, at Junior Achievement, and I think Joey, we make it really easy for our volunteers. They are not having to come up with what they're going to say or do. We actually provide everything for them. And so when they go into the classroom, everything is provided for them. And they will be given a quick 30-minute training, and then they will be giving the template of what they're going to do. And so we really try to make it easy on our volunteers so that they have a great experience with the students, because at the end of the day, it's about impacting those students, and that volunteer truly makes a difference and inspires those kids for their future.
Yeah, and as someone who has personally experienced this, you do make it easy, Casey. I mean, it's just a great process. You're very organized. The materials are great. And look, I had great fun when I would go. And in my case, I got to go back to my high school, which I'd gone to many, many years ago. But yeah, I was involved at Riverside High School, where I went a long, long time ago. We won't say how long. But it was interesting, and it was just, I got as much from it, I'm sure, as the kids did. But it was great to be to kind of reconnect with my high school.
Oh, we see alumni go back all the time to their schools and inspire that next generation. Somebody's got to carry that banner forward, right, Joe?
There you go. So if you're listening today and you would like to be involved, if this sounds like something that you would like to get involved with, go to greatersc.ja.org, greatersc.ja.org. And if, being in the actual classroom, participating in the program is not something that you can do, but you're saying, hey, look, I want to support this program, you can also donate online as well, or, get involved, in the golf tournament or other activities that come up throughout the year. But there's always a way that everyone can be involved with JA, right, Casey?
That is right. We will find you a place at the table if you want to help out.
Yeah. Casey, thank you for your time. And more importantly, thank you for what you and your great team with Junior Achievement of Greater South Carolina does. We just appreciate what you're doing with these students in school.
Thanks, Joey. We appreciate you.
If you live in the Upstate, by now you know that Travelers Rest has become the center of activity in northern Greenville County at the foot of the mountains. And joining me today is Lacey Keigley, owner of Travelers Rest here. Lacey, good to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
So let's talk about your website, travelersresthere.com. Boy, if you want to know what's happening in Travelers Rest, this is the place to go.
I hope so. Yeah, you can find out so many things. There's an event calendar, there's a town guide listing local businesses, and then there's always an article, lots of articles of the history of TR, great hikes, places to camp, things like that.
Yeah. You have an event coming up soon. It's part of your Trail Mix concert series. Give us the details.
Yeah, it's a family-friendly concert, and it kicks off summer. We do it right as school is ending, as summer is starting. It's June 11th. Sorry, I've got the date wrong. It's May 29th. I've given you a wrong date. It's May 29th, and it's called Trail Mix, and we have 3 local kind of TR icons performing on the stage. We've got Justin Fox and Jacob Johnson and the Foreign Landers, and they're all really connected to the Upstate and to TR, so it's a really special night.
Yeah. So talk with us. Give us a little more detail about the performers and what to expect.
Yeah. So Justin Fox has been playing locally for a couple years. He's an Upstate guy, Clemson student, and you can find him at Oak and Honey in Greenville and a lot of other places. Writes their music, and it's called Foxy J. You can find him on Instagram that way. And he's a really talented guy. He performed with us last year. This is Trail Mix's second year. And then Jacob Johnson, goodness, if you have been in TR for long, you know this guy. He has been playing for a long time and went to North Greenville University. Now he teaches some music classes over there. He is a one-of-a-kind performer. He's kind of got this magical thing he does that I can't even explain, but like where he plays the guitar and then loops his own guitar back over his playing, and just is a really fun show, puts on a fabulous show. And then the last band is called the Foreign Landers, and they're a couple. They play the mandolin, banjo, and it's a really great sound, and they have a neat story. One of them was raised in Ireland, and one was raised here in the Upstate, and they met, and their music was kind of reflective of the other person's sort of environment, and they have an album out that's called Travelers Rest. It talks about Paris Mountain and a lot of other things, and so they're really a fabulous couple and a really special band, and they'll be the last performers of the night.
Yeah, and again, you can find out all the information about this event May the 29th. Just go to travelersresthere.com. Now, I love the music, but I also understand there's going to be a lot of food there, too.
Yes, fabulous food. So we've got a couple, since it's one time a year, we kind of pull out all the stops, and so we have some favorite food trucks that TR loves. So we've got Hip Burger. They don't come out too much, and so it's exciting because they've just been opening a couple different restaurants there on the Upstate. So Hip Burger's going to bring their food truck, Carolina Grill, and the Noodle Lady. And so those are all some really popular ones. And then throwing in there, we have this really cute trailer called Blooming Bean that's coffee and coffee drinks. We've got Sunset Slush with your Italian ice. We've got the Cool Hall and Hops. It's a beer truck with these taps. It's a cool restored truck and looks awesome. We've got CNC Baking, and then Crazy Good Kettle Corn. So you've got snacks and dinner, and the music starts at 6:30, but the food trucks line up at 6. So you can get there at 6 to eat dinner, bring the family, totally free. It costs nothing to attend.
Yep. With me today, Lacey Keigley, owner, editor of TravelersRestHere.com, where you can find out all the great things happening in Travelers Rest. I tell you, Lacey, I got kind of hungry just listening to you talk about all the food that's going to be there.
Yeah, which one sounds like your favorite?
I'm going to have to go with the Hip Burger.
Yeah, they do make a good burger.
but all of them would be good, I'll tell you. So talk with us, Lacey, about where all this takes place.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's at Trailblazer Park, so right there in TR, great location. The amphitheater's in the shadow of Paris Mountain, and there's great seating. You can bring chairs if you want to, or picnic blankets, and just spread out and have a great time. So yeah, Trailblazer Park.
And the good news is, repeat what it cost.
It costs nothing. It's free.
Free. So everybody can afford this. And it's
exactly.
And it's just fun for the entire family. And a special thanks to the sponsors, too. A lot of these events, they need the support of the sponsors. And so let's support, like my favorite bank, the Bank of Travelers Rest. Tom, Bruce, Eddie, Eric, they all been taking care of my banking needs for over 35 years now. So go to bankoftraversrest.com. And if you're thinking of buying or selling a home, Meredith Rigdon with Keller Williams, she's there to help, too. And you got to have those sponsors, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. And both these sponsors have been great. They sponsored last year, they're sponsoring again. So they really believe in it, and it couldn't be free without them. So they are really important.
Yeah. All right. So this is your Trail Mix concert series. What do you have planned going into the summer? What are some of the future events?
Well, there's lots of TR events, and you can find them on travelersresthere.com. There's always the farmers market going on. TR has a lot of things at Trailblazer on Saturday nights. There's a concert most nights. The Whistle Stop has some really cool shag dancing on Thursday nights. Tasting Room has songwriting things and live music. There's really a lot of things. I do a trivia night the third Tuesday of every month at Community Tap, which is super fun and brings out lots of folks. One that's really special is a farm-to-table dinner at Topsoil. It's June 11th, and it's really special because all the money, it's a fundraiser, but all the money goes to Upstate farmers for a farmers fund. And that's a pretty significant thing because, without the farmers, we wouldn't have the food. And so it's a pretty special night.
Yep. Well, and there are tickets available for that still?
Tickets available. You can find them at the Farmers Market website, the Travelers Rest Farmers Market website, and you can also find links to it at travelersresthere.com.
All right. Well, this sounds like a fun evening, and be sure and check that out if you're looking for something fun to do and to support a great organization as well. Lacey, I got to tell you, and with me today, Lacey Keigley. She's the owner-editor of travelersresthere.com, where you can always get the most up-to-date things that are happening in the Travelers Rest. It just warms my heart to hear all of these activities because as someone who's had a connection with Travelers Rest for 35-plus years now since I started a business there back in the early 80s. And back then, Lacey, we didn't have all these activities going on.
We didn't.
And the Swamp Rabbit Trail came along, and people now Travelers Rest is a destination, and people come from all over for the trail. But then they get there and they just fall in love with our little town.
Yes, and that's the exact right response. They do fall in love with it. There's so much to love about TR, and it really does come down to the people. But the people who are doing these great businesses and restaurants and the trail itself, it really is a special place to be.
Yeah. Lacey, thanks for your time today. And again, for more information on upcoming events in Travelers Rest, go to travelersresthere.com. Be sure and bookmark it and go back often and check it out. And also, while you're there, subscribe to their Friday newsletter so you can stay up to date on all the latest happenings in TR. travelersresthere.com. Lacey, thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Your comments are welcome on the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Emails always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Throughout the week, we have been just really kind of slowing down, pausing, and taking a minute to remember those police officers who have given the ultimate sacrifice. They have been killed in the line of duty. And it's just a special week that we honor the men and women in blue. On our guest line today, Billy Crank is a guy who does just that. He works throughout the year leading up to Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, which is in September, in which officers are fed breakfast and given a lot of gifts. Billy, good to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
So let's take a minute before we get into what your organization, Lead Upstate, does and just talk about the importance of National Police Week.
As you said, it's an opportunity for us to pause and honor law enforcement officers who have given their lives in the line of duty. It's also about legacy. a legacy built on bravery that most people can't begin to understand. I think it reminds us that behind every badge is a person just like you and me. They have a family, a calling, and a willingness to stand in harm's way for our safety. It's this week is both a somber moment, a time for us of remembrance, and a call to continued support for these living heroes that are still on the job.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about what you do with Lead Upstate. What is Lead Day, and how does that work?
Lead Upstate and Lead Day, which this year will be September the 19th, is our biggest day of the year. And the committee, the Lead Upstate committee, works year-round to make this happen. Bottom line is it's about 3 hours. We start at 6 a.m. and run until 9, and the line of officers waiting to drive through. And as you mentioned earlier, they get breakfast. They get coffee and a biscuit and breakfast biscuit, water and Pepsi products, a T-shirt, commemorative challenge coin, and what we call a Valor bag, which is just a goodie bag that has various useful items for law enforcement that's valued at about $150. It's a thank you. It's a bridge between the community and law enforcement, and it's one of those things that the feedback has just been remarkable.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here and tell you that it helps with recruiting, but potential recruits talk to active law enforcement officers, and they're going to talk. They're going to hear about the community and how the community supports it. And those active officers recognize the value of having the community behind them.
Yeah.
And I think to a certain degree, I don't know that we can pin anything numbers on it, but I think it helps with retention also.
Yeah. Well, it's quite amazing, Billy. And of course, as you know, over the past few years, I've been somewhat involved with Lead too. I've been out. I've actually done the radio show out there in previous years. And it's just amazing to me to see those officers line up before the sun comes up. Basically, they're there before 6 a.m. lining up to come through, so that you guys can just say thank you with as you said, a breakfast biscuit and a Valor bag, and also throughout the week you have drawings for some great prizes.
We do. We're very fortunate to have sponsors provide us with some great gifts. We use some of the money that has been raised throughout the year to purchase gifts, big screen TVs, shotguns, vacations, overnight staycations here in and around Greenville. And it's remarkable to where it's remarkable that we can find the match.
Yeah.
It's random drawings, and we gave a recliner several years ago to a young female officer that had just moved into a house and was looking for a chair, and lo and behold, there it was.
Yeah.
So it's always good to see their reaction.
Yep. As we've mentioned earlier, this has been National Police Week all week long, and we'll continue to recognize the men and women in blue. A lot of conversation around law enforcement. What do you think is unique about the Upstate's approach through organizations like Lead Upstate?
Again, it's a bridge between community and law enforcement. It's one of those things where I think it's a tradition of service and respect for those that keep us safe.
Yeah.
We're tapping Lead Upstate is tapping into that local pride and trying to channel that into tangible action. It's not political.
Yeah.
It's personal, and I can sit here and tell you that I write a check every year simply because I believe in the mission. I believe in supporting those that take care of us. We're here to say thank you loud and clear, and regardless of what you see in the headlines or in the media, we have an incredible law enforcement community here in Greenville County, and this is just one of those local things. You don't hear anybody else talk about it in other parts of the state or in other states, anybody doing anything like this. So I think we're kind of unique in that aspect. And of course, we couldn't do any of that without great sponsors, and we're very appreciative to have had the sponsors that we have. And I would be remiss if I didn't just point out that CPI Security is back as our presenting sponsor again this year.
Yeah. A big thank you to CPI and all the other businesses who give gift cards and the prizes that you mentioned. Billy Crank with me today. We're talking about Lead Upstate, a great organization who takes a day in September 19th this year, to recognize the men and women in blue in Greenville County. If you'd like information on how you can be involved, just go to leadupstate.com, leadupstate.com, to learn more about sponsorship opportunities, because, Billy, I suspect that you probably could, you still need some help, right?
Yeah, we can always use donations or funding. And we would be grateful for anything that anybody would be willing to provide us with to help support this effort.
Yeah. And
I have to say thank you for being a part of it and doing your broadcast there for several years. So, that's we look forward to September the 19th.
Yep. Billy, appreciate your time today and appreciate what you do to let law enforcement in the Upstate know that they're appreciated.
Thank you, Joey. You have a great day now.
That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PHD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Furman Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.